Ranking every live-action Batman movie from worst to best. In dead last place is Joker Folie à Deux. Yes, I'm including the live-action Joker films on this Batman list. And no, this is not recency bias or anything like that. I just rewatched every single movie on this list, and I would rather rewatch every other Batman film over this movie again. The movie is simply just super tedious to get through. They don't go big and bold enough with the musical aspect of the film, so when there is a musical number, it is just tedious to sit through, and it feels like it's stopping the movie dead. The longer I think about the ending, the more I'm starting to grow on the idea behind what they were trying to do with it, but I'm sorry, the execution was still terrible and it just left me so disappointed. At number 11 is Batman and Robin. Yes, every other line of this movie is a bad one-liner. At least the stuff is so bad that you can at least laugh at it, and it's not like the movie was trying to be taken serious when you have lines like "What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age?" Like, this is kind of comedy, you can't lie. Honestly, the biggest detractor of this movie is George Clooney as Batman. I feel like if either Michael Keaton or Val Kilmer were still playing the character, it would have been at least a little bit better than what we got, but George Clooney is just absolutely phoning it in. He was not a good fit for this character. Uma Thurman is just giving one of the most ludicrously insane performances ever. Again, it's not necessarily good, but at least it's entertaining, and I do enjoy her version of Poison Ivy just for how insane it is. At number 10, I have Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. I am not the biggest Zack Snyder fan at all, and this is definitely a Zack Snyder film. Kind of the same with all his films. This thing does obviously look very good technically, and I think some of the ideas in it were actually pretty decent, but I just do not like his versions of Batman and Superman, quite simply, so I couldn't put it any higher on the list, honestly. At number 9 is Batman the movie from 1966. This thing is obviously incredibly stupid, but I'm not gonna lie, I do find this version of Batman to be just charming in how silly and goofy it is. Adam West is a ton of fun as the character. We also get to see a lot of his rogues gallery, like the Joker, the Riddler, Catwoman, the Penguin in this film, which is always just fun to see, and it does just have a certain level of charm that still honestly kind of holds up. I just rewatched this last week and it's still kind of a banger, I can't lie. At number 8 is Batman Forever, another movie that kind of falls into the so bad it's good, and I really appreciate just the pure campiness of this film. Jim Carrey as the Riddler is just so utterly insane. This is like the most cartoony villain I might have ever seen in a film. He's running around saying the worst one-liners and things like joygasm, but it is just an absolute blast how unserious this movie is. I do genuinely believe that Val Kilmer is an underrated version of Batman. I know some people absolutely despise his version, but I actually kind of enjoyed him, and especially when he's as Bruce Wayne in this film, I think he does a great job at it. So again, it's not really a movie I consider good in any ways, but it's at least a ton of fun. And that's why this, Batman and Robin, and 66 are all over movies like Joker Folie à Deux, in my opinion, because while they are kind of bad, you can at least walk away with enjoyment. At number 7 is a definite jump up in quality. I think now every movie on this list is at least like a 7 out of 10 or above. I have Joker. I know there's been a lot of revisionist history on this movie over the last year, and especially now with Joker Folie à Deux being so bad and people saying, oh, this movie is dumb and stupid too. I still think it's a great film. Great might be pushing, but it is a very good film at least. It looks good visually. Yes, the commentary is very just surface level and on the nose, but I do think its message is at least effective. And obviously Joaquin Phoenix is incredible in this movie, and the Joker goes through an incredible arc that starts and finishes in this movie. It should have just been a standalone. At 6 is Batman 89. I absolutely love Michael Keaton's version of Batman, how he plays the super seriousness of it, and then to balance that out with Jack Nicholson's insane version of the Joker. This is just an all-time banger of a superhero movie, 8 out of 10 at least. And I really just love the world of Gotham that Tim Burton built. It's just so uniquely him, and that's even more true in Batman Returns. At number 5, I have The Dark Knight Rises, another movie I know a lot of people on the internet like to tear apart, but I feel like it's like the cinema sin side of things. Like, yes, if you pick apart every single little plot detail and stuff, yes, there are dumb things in this movie. It is a little messy, and it does go a little bit too big. Kind of love how big and epic this film is in comparison to the other Batman movies. Like, yes, it doesn't stick the landing on everything, but Christopher Nolan is absolutely swinging for the fences this entire runtime. Bane is an absolutely incredible villain. I love Tom Hardy's performance of this entire movie, and yes, some of the reveals later on with Talia al Ghul don't work so smoothly, but it doesn't take away from how incredible Bane is for the entire film. I do wish we got more Van Hathaway's Catwoman in this film, but I do think what she does have to do is very good and effective in the movie. At number 4, I have Batman Returns, and I'm not gonna lie, this is so unbelievably close with my number 3. You could kind of interchange the two. I think they're both absolutely amazing, but I'm going with Batman Returns here in the 4th slot because I absolutely adore this movie. As I was just talking about, Tim Burton's Gotham City is even more just insane and uniquely him in this film. I love the entire wintertime aesthetic. Honestly, Gotham City, because of how alive it is in this film, feels like one of the main characters of the movie, followed by Catwoman and the Penguin, both amazing performances as villains. They are really the main focus of the movie over the Batman himself. But that's really what makes this movie click for me. It's so different than anything that came before, and honestly anything that we've seen since it, and it still stands alone as an all all-time great superhero movie. It's a 9 out of 10 easily for me. At number 3, I have Batman Begins, what might still be the staple of origin superhero movies, because this is absolutely incredible. Christopher Nolan was cooking with some gas in this movie. Cillian Murphy is one of my favorite actors of all time, and he is so unbelievably amazing as the Scarecrow in this film. Every single aspect of this performance is one of my favorite superhero movie villains of all time, personally. But to balance it out and have him not even be the real villain of the entire movie was such a smart choice to make, in my opinion, having the whole League of Shadows in this film. And normally I'm someone that's like, we don't need to see these origins 8 million times. I don't want to see them training for so long, but it works so good and it's so uniquely done in this film that I just cannot take my eyes off of this movie. Which brings the top 2 to these absolute bangers of Batman movies. These are both 10 out of 10 films and amazing in their own right, and honestly very similar in a lot of ways while also different. First of all, you have the Batman, which is just an amazing detective story and mystery, whereas The Dark Knight is an A-plus thriller and action film. Obviously, the villains and supporting characters in both these movies are incredible. You obviously have the Riddler and the Joker, which obviously the Joker wins that matchup. He is one of the greatest, if not the best superhero movie villain of all time, but Paul Dano's Riddler himself is also a really great movie villain. And I really can't blame anyone for putting one of these over the others, and let me know in the comments quickly your top 3 favorite Batman movies, but I'm personally going to go with the Batman at number 2 and the Dark Knight at number 1. Really appreciate a like on the video. I've been cooking with Batman and Joker related videos lately, so click and watch below either my Batman actor ranking or my Joker actor ranking.